This week, our vocabulary read aloud is titled One Room Schoolhouse. Let's review our target vocabulary words together. I will read through them once, and then I will say, and you will repeat them. Community, culture, language, lesson, special, subjects, transportation, where. Now I'll say, you say. I say community, you say. I say culture, you say. I say language, you say. I say lesson, you say. I say special, you say. I say subjects, you say. I say transportation, you say. I say where, you say. Now, today we're going to be listening to our read aloud One Room Schoolhouse. As you hear your target vocabulary words, I want you to repeat them back to me. As we listen to our story, I want you to pay close attention because we will be once again answering some questions throughout our reading. When you're finished, you'll go to the next slide and complete an activity with your vocabulary words. Here we go. One room schoolhouse. Let's take a trip 100 years or more back in time. You'll need to use your imagination. How did you get to school today? There are no school buses for transportation. Most likely you walked, even if you live miles away and the snow is deep. If you live really far away, you might hitch a ride on a neighbor's wagon. You might get to ride your own horse to school. When you got to school today, you hung your coat on a hook and placed your tin lunch pail up on a shelf. Then you walked into the classroom. Your class is filled with children of all ages. All of the children in the community share the same teacher. Your whole school fits in one room. When class begins, you sit on a long wooden bench. You don't use a computer or even a pencil for math or spelling lesson. You probably don't even have a textbook. You write with chalk on a piece of a slate. You don't study many subjects or learn much about any other culture. There is no gym, no art, no music, no library, and no foreign languages. When the teacher calls you, you go to the front of the room and read aloud. Then you go back to your bench. You help a younger child learn, or an older child helps you. Lucky you! You have 2 breaks for recess and an hour for lunch. You can't wait to see if Mama packed you some of that special pie from dinner in your lunch pail. If the weather is nice, you might sit on a rock and eat with your friends. Then you might chase a hoop on a muddy field until it's time to go back to class. Today, it's your turn to pump water into a bucket and carry it inside for washing up. Other children will carry firewood. The big wood stove in the back of the room heats the whole school. Did you wear something warm today? If you sit far from the wood stove, you may be chilly. Now it's 4 o'clock, school is over, and it's time for the long trip home. After a day in a one-room schoolhouse, are you ready to go back to modern times? Great job listening, my friends. So I want you to take a look at the picture that you see on this slide. The woman up top is actually my great-grandmother. This is my great-grandmother Cross. She ran the first one-room schoolhouse up in Blue Mountain Lake, which is up in the Adirondacks, about an hour and a half away from here. This is her class from 1939 to 1940, as you can see at the bottom. All of these children were of many different ages, and she taught all of them at once in her one-room schoolhouse. Sometimes she would bring in birthday cakes for their celebrations. She would also pack extra lunches for them. And she acted kind of like their mom. as well as their teacher because she had them for such a long day. And these children came from miles around, some as far as 60 miles away. Can you imagine getting to school 60 miles away without a car? How would you get there? Well, this week we will be reading about schools around the world, and we will learn about different cultures and different traditions in these schools. I can't wait to investigate. How about you? Please go to the next slide and complete the vocabulary activity. Great job today. I will see you soon.